Hi, everybody. Welcome to the special focus meeting of Overeaters Anonymous, the 100 Pounders special focus. It is the 27th of November 2024, and today I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Ori B as our speaker. Ori came to OA in 2001. He is from California and currently resides in Texas, in Houston, in Texas. So, Ori, I'm leaving it over to you now. Take it over.
Thank you. My name is Ori. I'm a compulsive overeater. And like Rita said, my hometown is California, Los Angeles. And I moved away from Los Angeles. I just passed a year and I moved to Texas. So that is a spiritual awakening right there. They're very different cultures. But I've been in program. I've been coming around since 2001. I've not been abstinent or sober that whole time. I've had multiple relapses. Um, and the last relapse that I had, I was out for 3 years and I got up to 485 pounds. Today, I am down between 225 and 230 pounds. 230 pounds, I don't know what that is. I think you over across the pond they call them stone. I don't know what that is, but you can do or kilos. I don't know. We do pounds over here. We have to be different in America, of course. So yeah. I was thinking yesterday how, if I could get away with eating the way that I did and only being like a little fat, I would have probably continued to go on, the rest of my life. Like if I didn't have such an extreme, it's just like when I eat, it's like a fact. It's a fact of my existence. Fact of my existence that it's like I'm gonna kill myself. Like there's no in between. It's just like I don't get to be just a little bit overweight and one of these people who can be overweight and eat, overeat sometimes and have their indulgence sometimes and it just I go to a desperate and destructive dark place. It always ends there. And I've had so many relapses. I've spent so much of my time, yeah, in relapse. The formula always ends in me being absolutely destroyed in my life and wanting to kill myself. Like that's the only outcome that's available to me if I don't do if I don't have a spiritual solution, if I don't have this recovery. And I've heard it for decades. They talk about this being the last house on the block. And I fully expired all my attempts at other methods. And I like to say, thank God. Thank God that I spent a lot of my life trying to prove that I could manage and control this. I had sufficient enough time to experiment with that idea, and it all ended with me wanting to kill myself. So this time around, about 8 years, almost 8.5 years ago, I was done. Not, and then not just like it's a done that I can't describe fully in words. You know, I think it's in Bill's story. He says, my scorecard read zero. Like I was totally out of ideas of how to live. Um, and it was spiritual bankruptcy. and there was no coming back from, I ate to the point where there was no coming back from it, absent of a miracle. Miracle meaning, you know, no white light shined on me, and you know, angels surrounded me, and there was, it wasn't like that. It was just a moment where it was just like, God help me. God help me show up and do something different. God give me the answers. And absent of, like, it really was. I remember having this conversation with the universe, like, absent of your help, I'm going to die from this. And I accepted that. And I went on eating until something happened. And yesterday, I'm grateful today because yesterday I woke up in a dark space. I didn't get enough sleep. Um, and I woke up and I had the thought, like, I entertained the thought for a little bit of the morning, and it was a thought of, like, I'm just tired of doing all this. It was a genuine moment of, like, man, I've been doing this 8.5 years. Like, I'm kind of tired of hearing the program talk. Like, I don't want to. It was just like a moment of, I don't want to do this anymore. And the recovery is I recoil from that thought as if it was a hot flame, and I knew I was in insanity. And the recovery is that thought is weighed and measured. I know it has an end, like, because there's no other option, there's no other formula for me. And it was like, God, I need help right now. I wasn't in a good space, and my feet know what to do. So, luckily my feet know what to do. So, and this is just the discipline of the program is, I went in, I did my meditation. I didn't want to do meditation, but I did my meditation. I did 15 minutes of it. I added on extra 3 minutes because I usually do 12. And, I brought out the big guns in my meditation, and I did some breathing, and it's like I do a so for some reason that vibration or whatever it is, it just really takes me into another space. So I brought out the big guns and I did some I call it oming. Um, it's just like a spiritual humming, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but it's breathing and making that sound. I don't know what it does for me, that resonance. And then, part of my trouble is I've been doing more exercise, and my body is just always sore and in pain, and I don't like that, because it's getting used to new movements. So I did some stretching. That was a gift to my being, and that helped. And I did I did a little bit of writing, and I worked myself from underwater, and I just, some of these spiritual, or a lot of these spiritual actions are just me trying to put myself somewhere near the light, like somewhere in the space of grace. Like, and I don't know what combination of things does it all the time. It's just like I'm just throwing things up, just to get closer to the light, because um without it, I'm just left to me. I'm left to me, and and that was part of my surrender this time around, in my concession too. I was just done with me. Like, I was just done with me. Even in recovery, there are moments where I'm trying to manage, I'm trying to control, I'm trying to self-will my way through some issues or some challenges, some circumstances, and the leash is getting shorter where I chase those things down, that self-will, I chase it down, whatever it is I'm trying to manage and control. It causes me misery. I finally get honest and I surrender it and I get freedom, and then it's just like just getting to that place of just being done with me. I At 485 pounds, I was full of fear. I was scared of the world. And each time that I lost weight, or it seemed like the world just came rushing in faster than I could process it. And before, I lived where the world was a disappointing, painful place. It wasn't favorable. It was a tragedy to be endured. It became that in my mind. Life became a tragedy to be endured. That's what my thinking skewed toward depression and misery. My thinking skews towards insurmountable odds against me. Like I don't know why my thinking skews to this unmanageable. Like it's just a better word for me is unsustainable. I don't have, without these spiritual disciplines, without these principles, I just don't have a sustainable means of living and getting through life. And that's why I need this community. I need this spiritual power. I need God. I need it like I need it on a DNA level, and not just a little bit. Like it needs to, when it talks about faith needs to operate in and through me 24 hours a day. Without faith, again, I'm left to my own thinking. I'm left to that unsustainable, unmanageable way of living. And I have to have a belief or this simple attitude that there is a power greater than me that is caring for me through this life. There's no option. There's no other alternative method for me. I was thinking the other day, just in the time I've been in program, um, all these years, like how many faces I've seen come in and out, and I've seen, people get hot like fire in program, and then they disappear after a couple of years, and I don't see them again. There's been so many people that I've just seen come in and out, in and out. Some people haven't come back. And I don't know how, like, 'cause I don't know how this recovery continues to grow. It continues to how I continue to ride it and be in it. Um, because you know it's not based upon my efforts because I'm flawed. Um, I haven't achieved spiritual perfection despite my many attempts to achieve it. Like I am by no means um uh like I'm very much imperfect. I'm very much still. dealing with defects of character. I guess maybe the one thing that I have not lost is that I know that I can't do this without spiritual help. There's nowhere else to go for me. Um, and this is the only place where I can get relief from the bondage of me. I come to so what do I do? What do I do? I am consistently working with others. Something that's instrumental in my recovery is this men's group that I'm connected to. Um, in 8.5 years, I've consistently showed up and participated in that men's community. I continuously expose my thought life to the community. Um, I'm connected to people at a high level. Um, I tend like my average of meetings is about 5 meetings a week at a minimum. Um, I tend to be of service somewhere. Um, my prayer and meditation is I'm doing it more often than not. I do nightly reviews more often than not. Um, I pray often. I talk to God a lot. I talk to God a lot. It's just like an ongoing conversation. And I keep seeking. That's one thing that has not stopped. I continue to seek. Now, sometimes I think I found, and then back to seeking again. It's a it's a constant. It's just progress, constant progress. And as a result of practicing, these ideas, these principles, I have a life uh, that doesn't look like anything I envisioned. Um, and it's amazing and it's beautiful. And despite my best attempts to escape it, it continues to expand, and I continue to be, I continue to get opportunities to go to places where I didn't have places before. When I was 485 pounds, my life was very narrowed. I couldn't leave my house. I stopped leaving during the day and I would just leave at night to go get my food. I was of no functional purpose in life. My whole existence revolved around getting my food fix and using food. And now I have a life that's full and rich with everything, an abundance of opportunity, love, um, like I'm fully living. And it's beyond anything I thought of like anything that I thought was capable for me.
20 minutes, Ori. You have 10
So
remaining.
I'm sorry.
You have 10 minutes remaining.
Okay, I'm gonna end it right there. If I mean, I don't know if we do questions here. But okay, so I'll just wrap it there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ori. I'm just going to read a little bit out of the big book after your share. It's from The Keys of the Kingdom, page 275. AA is not a plan for recovery that can be finished and done with. It is a way of life, and the challenge contained in its principles is great enough to keep my human being striving for as long as he lives. We cannot outgrow this plan. As arrested alcoholics, we must have a program for living that allows for limitless expansion. Keeping one foot in front of the other is essential for maintaining our arrestment. Others may idle in a retrogressive groove without too much danger, but retrogression can spell death for us. However, this isn't as rough as it sounds, as we do become grateful for the necessity that makes us toe the line, and we find that we are compensated for a consistent effort by the countless dividends we receive. There is no more aloneness with that awful ache so deep in the heart of every alcoholic that nothing before could ever reach it. The ache is gone and never need return again. Now there is a sense of belonging, of being wanted and needed and loved. In return for a bottle and a hangover, we have been given the keys of the kingdom. Sir.